Hi, Orange Girl here with a new scrapbooking process video for you. Today I am working with the June Scrapbook Circle Kit. Specifically, I'm going to be working with the cut files that come with the kit this month. And since I'm going to be using them in a couple of different ways, I thought I would go ahead and do a screenshot of my process. So what I started out with here is I have imported the file and now I am tracing the tag that I'm going to use. And I'm just going to get rid of the other tags because I'm just going to use that one tag, but in a couple of different ways. So oftentimes when I'm working in my scrapbook, or excuse me, in my Silhouette software, I like to kind of set up what I think the design of the page is going to be. And I'm just go ahead and set it up in the software, and that kind of gives me an idea. It's just like one way to work through my process. I don't do this every time I use a cut file, and I don't do this for every layout, obviously, but I do it often when I am going to be doing especially something that might be a little bit complicated. And while this is actually going to look fairly simple in the end, the process is a little complicated. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and set up. My idea is I just cut and pasted that, or copied and pasted that one tag. So I have 3 of them. I'm going to do one more here. I'm going to use that 4th one a little bit later. So I'm just going to put that down in the corner. But these 3 tags, I'm actually going to cut as I want the silhouette to cut it so that I can stitch. So they're not going to cut them out of the background. They're actually going, what I'm going to have a scrapbook, or silhouette, excuse me, what I'm going to have the silhouette do is cut dashed lines kind of, but a little bit more than that. So just watch my process here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on these dashed lines. I'm going to change the measure here to 0.23, and I want straight corners, not curvy corners. And so once I do that, I'm going to select the whole area here and I'm going to retrace it. The reason that I'm retracing it is instead of just the dashed lines, I actually want those dashed lines to be traced so that they're almost more like holes. Like I poked holes into the background instead of just dashed lines. So you can see now I deleted the original, and now I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit, and it's kind of hard to see in the video, but if you try this on your own, I actually did not come up with this process. I got this process from Paul Prince at POLPRINCE, and she did this tutorial, and I am using the same basic idea. So what I want to do is I'm going to stitch those 3 into my background using some sort of thread. And then I want 3 smaller tags. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here is this is the process where I'm going to actually set up what I'm going to do in the background, but I'm not actually going to cut them like this. What I'm going to end up cutting is 2 separate pieces. The first one will be the actual dotted line so that I can cut out the or not cut out, stitch the tabs. Oh my goodness, you guys, stitch the tags. And then these 3 right here, you're going to see me put them together, and then I'm going to cut them and paste them onto a new document. What I'm showing you with my cursor there is I want those 3 up in the top to be stitched, and then I'll put something down in that bottom right corner. So these are my 2 files. This file I have, you can see the dotted lines, and that's the one that I'm going to actually stitch with. The next one, this one, I set it up so that they were 2 inches apart, and so when I had it cut, I just cut strips of 2-inch paper to put right on my silhouette mat so that it would cut those in 3 different papers. You'll see that I actually show that here coming up. So what I'm doing here is I have taken some gold thread, just regular thread that you would put in a sewing machine, but I have quadrupled it. So I put 4 pieces together and tied it, mainly because I didn't have embroidery floss that was gold and I didn't want to go try to find some. And so I just used this because I did have gold thread. I will tell you that when you use the metallic threads, it is a little bit more difficult to work with, just because it's a different texture. And so I do go pretty slow. And I'm not going to show you my whole process here, but I just wanted to show you that I am not doing around the whole entire tag, because I know I'm going to cut these other tags out and put them over the top. I hope that makes sense. I think it'll make sense once you see the layout. But since I already knew that, I just kind of guesstimated how high up I needed to go. It helped a little bit that I had already set it up in my software, my Silhouette software. So these are the 3 pieces that I was talking about that I just cut from the 6x6 Oasis pad, and I put them on my Silhouette mat that I need a new one, by the way. Did you notice that? Anyway, and I'm going to use these 3 right on top, and then I'm going to put my photo on top of that. And that's kind of the basic design. And then I want to kind of go down to the right corner with some other elements, maybe what you're seeing there. Right? Some of it does change, but I went with that gold because there were so many fun gold things in that ephemera pack that I just decided I wanted to add all of that gold. This is a picture that is one of my favorite photographs that I have yet to scrap, and it is not going to be on this one either. I end up going with a different photo for some contrast because of all that white, which I kind of like also, but I end up just going on with something else because of what I end up using for my title and so on and so forth. So that's not the photo that I end up using, but you will see that, I am certain, later. I've had it printed forever, and it's just waiting for the perfect paper and time for me to scrap it. So right now I'm just trying to figure out what do I want, what do I have at my fingertips that I can use as a title. So I thought about going with a really just white and gold and then those little bits of pink, and using even a white title and just doing something like The Life or whatever. But I wasn't sure what I was going to do, so I just decided to table that for a minute. I knew I wanted to use this Heidi Swapp Color Shine Gold, of course, to add to that kind of basic design that I wanted to do, going from the upper left down to the lower right. And so I went ahead and added that. And I do add a little bit more later to my layout, but this is a lot of what you're going to see. So a new time of day. And so I have now, I apologize that there's going to be a few shadows here, but I've gone ahead and glued this to my background paper, which is from Oasis. And I use that same gold thread just to stitch around those 2 sides. And then you saw a flash there really quickly of the photograph that I'm going to use. It's a photograph of a day that we went to the park. We go to the same park a lot. And my one true love took this wonderful photograph, and I'm going to use that one of some sun coming through the leaves of the tree. So the reason I did kind of that cross finger there is because I knew I wanted to poke the holes, and I was hoping that this would work. So what I did is I put a little slit at the top with my X-Acto knife, which I've already done there, and now I'm threading that floss through the hole I made with my hole punch, and I made a slit at the top so that it mimics what it would be like if this was just added to my background. Does that make sense? What I'm doing now is I'm adding some glue around that circle, because where I had stitched the circles with gold thread, this is why I was crossing my fingers, I was hoping that I wouldn't go through that thread with my hole punch, but I did. And it didn't turn out bad. I mean, it was okay. So there I am making another slit, and I'm sorry, you're seeing mostly my head there, and I do that for all 3 of them. I make slits at the top, very small, so that I can thread it through to make the little tags have a bow at the top like that with the thread. I end up actually using this floss, cutting it off and making it not bows, because you'll see as I get all 3 of these on here, it's just a little bit too much, and it's frankly messy. And I like messy, but it's just the wrong kind of messy for me. So now I'm using some scraps from the kit to put a little pink behind there, and I know I'm going to pop that up. I also found in my scrap box some vellum, and it's not from the kit, but I am going to use that as another layer behind my photo, and then down in the bottom right corner too. That sunshine, this is kind of all that gold. I really wanted to use that sunshine because it's comes in the kit, and it's vellum, and it's gold, and it's gorgeous, and there are other words too, but I thought this was perfect for what I was working with here and all the pieces that I was working with. So that's kind of part of why I changed my picture too. So I have that tag from the ephemera pack. It says summer and then sunshine, and that's going to be my title, Summer Sunshine. And I know I need something up in that corner, but I don't go with that. I end up using the Heidi Swap, there they are right there, the Heidi Swap washi pieces that we got. There are some little banner pieces in there, so I used a few of those. And then I added some more of that same gold thread to kind of hang those banners on. I started with the green, but then I end up using the thread. And you guys, seriously, that is basically my layout right there. I do add a couple of things. I haven't glued everything down yet, but that's kind of what I'm going to do here next, and I add some enamel dots, and that is about it. A few more splatters. I apologize for the quality of the video here. Have you ever taken a picture or a video with your phone, because I'm using my phone here to do this recording, and you realize that the lens has got something on it? Well, that's what happened here. So I apologize for the quality of the film. Okay, this is some gold. I think it's from the DIY pack that came. It has gold clear stickers with gold metallic accents, I suppose, on them. It comes with gold hearts, so you'll see those gold hearts on there as well. So I used that to add some more gold to my page. And then the gold palm leaves from the ephemera pack, and that says itinerary on it, but I am going to cover that up with that. And that's it. So I really like how this turned out. I'm going to add some thread about 3 places, some tangled gold thread in about 3 places across the layout. And that is it. I didn't even journal. I still may go back and journal. I just sat there trying to decide what I was going to do for a journal. This isn't really a story. It's just a pretty page. I could write a story about how we go to this park all the time, and I may end up going back and doing that at some point, but I just didn't feel the need because I have so many park pictures that I already have journaled about that I just decided not to. Oh, I totally forgot that I did that. That is some of that sticker paper stuff that I can't remember the name of. Oh my goodness, you guys, seriously. I ripped the word sunshine, but then once I get it down, you can't even tell, so it's not a big deal. See the S, I just ripped it. So I popped up the flamingo, and I popped up the camera and the picture, and then the word summer, that little tag there. And behind each of those parts, there's also some tangled thread. And then that's it. I really like how this turned out. I love all the pops of gold. It was so much fun to make. And this is my last layout with this kit, and I still have a lot of stuff left, and so I'll probably still make some things, but this was my last assignment. So check out everybody else's creations over on the Scrapbook Circle blog, as well as in the Facebook group. And I'd love to see what you've made with this kit, and I will check them out in the Facebook group as well. Thanks a lot for stopping by, and see you later. Hope you have a good day. Here come the close-ups.